This is the SH suhyup-bank MBN Women's Ladies Open. That would have been such a lovely start in the final round. Yes, it's the third and final round of this very event, and it's going to be interesting to see what we can come up with. This young lady, of course, Wang Yumin, had really outperformed yesterday, and she's got the audience right behind her today, and she is playing to the gallery. So it's very important to see what exactly what she can come up with. So just a reminder that this is the suhyup-bank MBN Ladies Open final round, and it's been played at the Star U Golf Resort, as well as keep in mind the fact that we've had a fairly clear day. We'll run you through the weather conditions in just a little bit. My name is Glenn Mascarenhas, and I'm here to take you right through till the end of the day. Lee Dong-gyun, who was stellar. She finished at the top with an 8 under yesterday of the leaderboard. She's currently on 7 under. Remember, day 1 always has its fresh start, and day 2 then has its challenges, and then day 3 has even more challenges. Kim Min-sun, 7, who is also on 7 under. She's on to her second stroke for hole number 9. She was in stellar form as well yesterday, really performed well. But remember, with today, you get changes upon changes as far as the weather conditions are concerned. Park Chu-young was looking to finish on par, but looks like she will have to settle for a bogey for this one. If I'm not mistaken, earlier that was Yun Mina, not Kim Jin-sung 7, that we got a view of before Park Chu-young. And it's tee off time. It's second stroke time for Sung Yoo-jin. 128 meters to the hole. This is for hole number 9. Remember, we've got the cream of the crop here today. After the first day, of course, our top finishers move into, or the best points takers move into day 2, and then of course that gets sifted down even further to day 3. Here's a young lady we saw a lot of yesterday, Lee Dong-gyun, looking to finish on par for hole number 8, and yes, she does. She maintains that 7 under. Finished yesterday with 8 under. She would have actually gone to 9, but she finished her 18th hole with an on par finish. Park Chu-young back again, and she'll bogey the 8th hole. She was 8 under, so she'll get down to 7 under now. She's been performing extremely well today. We are on to the 9th hole, and this is a very interesting one. Remember, 380 meters is what we're looking at. It does have a view of the clubhouse, there's no doubt about it, but it requires accuracy, because if you look right behind it and around it, the green is narrow. It makes it slightly dangerous. There's sun bunkers on the extreme left. You want to try and keep your shots moving towards the right, because if you can't, then it can be a problem. So there's also 3 different directions as far as the slopes are concerned within the green itself. Wang Yumin, she was very consistent yesterday. She will tee off for hole number 9. She is the leader here today with 11 under. And don't forget that yesterday she had Lee Yvonne with her. She's got Park Chu-young in her group today. Tee off next, it's going to be Lee Dong-gyun. I did mention that she just got one win to her credit, but she's really outperformed in this event. Yesterday she was probably the best golfer in the spotlight, followed by Hwang Yoo-min. And I'm just talking basically on performance. Absolutely stunning there. Well, just the wind carrying that slightly to the left, kept it fairly straight. Lee Dong-gyun has got herself at a fair distance, but on the fairways. Sung Yoo-jin aiming for birdie on hole number 9. She's carrying a 10 under score. Up next, it's Park Chu-young. And Park Chu-young will deciding to hook that one. And you can see that the ball's carried a bit more well towards the left as compared to her group mates, or to her group competitors. Lee Won aiming for birdie on hole number 9. And that's going to take her up to a 10 under. Remember, she was the top ranked golfer getting into the tournament. 32 on that front 9 with 4 birdies. It's been a fairly flawless performance from her, so can't write her off. It's looking to be a very, very tight contest here at the top today. Kim Min-sun 7 aiming for birdie on hole number 9. She just falls shy of that. She'll clean it up with an even score. And it's tee off time. Hwang Yoo-min for hole number 9. Well, looks like she just might have landed herself in a slight spot of trouble. Got herself onto the rough. I hope it's not in the woods. Sung Yoo-jin. Takes the neutral here on hole number 9, and she'll be happy to keep that 10 under, because that's so important now. It's really a do or die, isn't it? You've got about 9 more holes to go. Well, sometimes a bit of nerves will get to you, and that's, well, just one of those instances where I think Hwang Yoo-min will have to hold it together today to make sure that she can stay in contention for a win, and that's a narrow miss. We'll tap that in. Sung Yoo-jin getting ready to tee off for hole number 10. 370 meters is what we're looking at. Remember, we are on to the star course right now. Lee Dong-gyun onto her second stroke for hole 9. And the crowd has turned up today, hasn't it? Well, did see them in the morning. very early to greet the dawn breakers. Lee Dong-gyun holding her own. Meanwhile, here's Lee Won. These are two strong groups that we're looking at. Lee Won, of course, paired with Sung Yoo-jin, or grouped with Sung Yoo-jin. It's really at this part of the contest where things get very, very intense on the third and final day. Hwang Yoo-min also knows how important it is for her to keep herself together. And that's with the two. Well, she's had a two-stroke penalty there, so we can see she's definitely going to drop down in the points, and by, well, that's what happens, right? It can just be one particular hole that can change the entire equation. Now, Kim Min-sun 7, who's along with Lee Won and Sung Yoo-jin. She's teed off for hole number 10. She's been fairly consistent. Yesterday had her ups and downs, but, well, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's what the course defines as well, the ups and downs. So, but one of the strong, well, contenders always, Sung Yoo-jin. Park Ju-young flew under the radar for day one, but did step up yesterday. Got herself just off the carpet with a second effort. But this hole definitely going to be a huge worry for Hwang Yoo-min. And that's what brought on those penalties earlier. And that's when she hit the woods. There's no doubt about it. Couldn't track the ball, then she had to go in again. Changed, well, the position slightly. And a second time around. So that's the two-stroke penalty that she had. Had to go in for the tee off for the third time. And that changed the equation for her. Well, the last thing you want to end up with is, even though it's not really needed as a triple or a quadruple bogey, that can just bring you down really, really badly. And Park Ju-young just narrowly missing out on the target. So close, so very close. She too has had a few trying times today. Park Min-ji needed to get out of the beach. She has done that, but put herself fairly close to the flagstick. It's another golfer that really brings in quality to the sport. Very, very dedicated professional. Spends a lot of time and endorses discipline as far as ball training is concerned. Hwang Yumin will need to pull herself together, literally get herself out of the woods, pun intended. But Sung Yujin going in for her second stroke, 145 meters to the hole. Put herself at a bit of a distance from the can, but I think it's not going to worry her too much. Meanwhile, Lee Dong-gyun will aim for birdie on hole number 9. Remember, she was flying high yesterday. It's been a very, very slow start and a challenging one for her today. That's just about fallen short of the target. A Cuban for her, there's no doubt about it. It's trying to use that incline. I think just gauged that push a little too short. Back to Sung Yujin. Sorry, it's back to Lee Won on her second stroke. Well, she's definitely flown the green, but I did say this yesterday. You're looking at the top golfer in the contest. She was in very, very good form yesterday. Gently and slowly, she caught up with the rest, stayed abreast of her competitors. Wasn't tied third, moved up to tied second. And today she's got herself in a strong position. But here's the girl who's really had it, well, a bit tough for hole number 9. Needs to settle for a triple bogey. And yes, she has. So she's dropped down to a tied third now from being the leader. Well, big cheer there from the crowd. She had to nail that. So hole number 9 has literally been the bogey hole for her. It's just a tad bit unfortunate for Hwang Yumin. Had such a great start to this day. Yes, Lee Dong-gyun will settle for an even score on hole number 9. Lee Won, now the joint leader, the 10 under. She'll get it closer to the flagstick. Well, Kim Min-sun 7. Well, moves in. Park Min-ji aims for birdie on hole number 11. Got herself out of the beach just a while back. A lovely effort from her. And that's really the hallmark of a great golfer, isn't it? You get yourself into, well, a sand trap, and then you can get yourself out of it and pick a birdie from it. She's up to 8 under now. Well, there are some golfers, you always know whether they're having a good day or a bad day. They will churn out, very professional performances. And Park Min-ji just one of them. Now here's Sung Yujin. She's the joint leader with Lee Won. It's hole number 10. Goes in from a distance. Oh, that's agonizingly close for her. Very well done. Absolutely marvelous placement. Park Min-ji going with the 5-iron to tee off for hole number 12. Remember, it's 165 meters. Once again, that beautiful scenic view of the Star Hue Golf Resort. Let's remind you once again that we are coming at you live from Gyeonggi-do. It's absolutely stunning place right here, situated in Yangpyeong County. If you look very close or surrounding areas, you'll see Mount Yeongmunsan and Mount Yamyongsan. Lee won.
자, 거기 앞에 이동 멈춰주세요.
바람 알려주세요.
여기 자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Look for a neutral finish on hole 10.
자, 이제 카메라 버튼 누르지 말아주세요.
And she'll keep that 10 under intact. And let's put a smile on her face. Wang Yumin. Well, just ran into a bit of tough luck in the 9th hole. Here she tees off for hole number 10. And that's a decent comeback.
똑같은 번호로 바꿨어.
자, 플레이하겠습니다.
Get yourself onto the rough, never really a problem, isn't it? You can get off the grass easy, but you get yourself into the woods, that's another story entirely. Now getting ready to tee off is Park Yoo-jin. Remember, it's a par 4 for the asking. 370 meters. Park Joo-young on 7 under. Well, it's a great place to tee off from. You can get a view of the course as well as the surrounding scenery. Placing your shot well, you know, with the tee off is so important, because at this hole, because you don't want to look for distance. If you're trying to gain distance, the ball can actually, you know, go in a direction that you don't want. But if you know exactly more or less where you want to place it, you can plan your shots. This is one of those holes where you can strategize easy, but you've got to save a bit on the distance covered. So it's Parkman G back again. We'll go for birdie on hole number 12. Oh, what a narrow miss. Well, just almost kissed the lip of the can. It almost did. Now it's Lee Dong-gyun who'll get on next. One thing about, well, golfers like Lee Dong-gyun and Bang Shin-sil, who really shone on the first day, these are long hitters. And what really shone through for Lee Dong-gyun yesterday was the ability to place the ball very, very close to the flagstick every time. And that's how she started picking up those birdies, like they were just there for the picking. But crafted her play yesterday extremely well. Today, well, she's had a few challenges, and you know, we've always been saying weather changes, weather conditions, the temperature, you know, wind conditions, everything will change the way that a golfer will actually performs on that day. Actually, there's the main element probably that I kind of let pass or missed out on is the golfer's frame of mind on that day. It's probably like a chef in the kitchen, isn't it? When you are in a great mood, you'll always turn out a great dish. But sometimes, depending on your mental and physical makeup on that day. Park Yeol finishes with a birdie will take a score up to a 6 under, and that's on hole 12. Those two bogeys were her undoing in the early part of the day. Yesterday as well, she was one of the main contenders right up there at the top, and then things just turned around for her a tad bit. Now here's Lee Won, Sung Yoo Jin, Kim Min Sun, 7. They're all getting ready to tee off for their next challenge.
네, 하겠습니다.
Well, the one area that we love to call the banana green. Lee Won will tee off for hole number 11. Currently the joint leader, 280 meters, a par 4 for the asking. It's got it just off the fairway, so not really a worry. Escaped that trap that was up ahead. So over to Sung Yoo Jin next. Well, she too is a joint leader. Remember, this hole of course does give you an entire view of the course and the entire surrounding scenery. But you've got to be careful with this one because there are a few curves and bends in there, and you definitely want to make sure that you're positioning your tee shot such that you head towards the green. You've got the bunkers there, you know, towards the left, slightly towards the left, so you want to try and avoid hooking that as well. And there are just some days when you do know you want to go in with an entirely different, well, approach, but sometimes, well, just the forces of nature would work against you. Second shot for Park Joo Young, 143 meters. This is for hole number 10. Now do remember, this hole does have its fair share of challenges. It's the longest of the par 4 holes. But the fairways are fairly wide, as you can see, so it kind of gets a bit confusing. You spoil for choice. It's one of the reasons why when, you know, the golfers were teeing off, most of them were trying to hook their tee shot just so that they could, well, keep that ball in a manner where their second stroke would be more, well, target directed, and I think that's what they've gone with. Wang Yumin on to her second stroke, needs to build herself up back again. Well, that 9th hole on the front 9, the last hole on the front 9 was really her undoing. There's always this big question, you know, at the end of a tournament, and you wonder if it wasn't for that one hole, what could have been. I mean, to drop 3 points in the final round is always, it's very, very disappointing. It takes a good bit of strength to, you know, come back. But she did come back to finish the job on hole number 9. Lee Dong-gyun next. Looking at an elevation of about 6 meters, 132 meters to the hole. Well, just off the carpet area, but I don't think that's going to worry her too much. Well, as long as she can keep her score steady and maybe, pull in a birdie or two. She'll put herself in good stead. Lee Yvonne and Sung Yujin lead with the 10 under currently. They're both currently on their 11th hole, having finished with 10. Hwang Yu Min has dropped to third position with that 8 under. And then Huda Bean, Park Min Ji, Kim Min Sun 7, Lee Dong Gyun. They're all in tied 7th. I think it's very, very important at this stage of the contest now to keep in mind the fact that there are a few behind. Park Yeol just dropping or falling from grace a little bit. But she was in stellar form yesterday. So it will be interesting to see whether she can do much with, the remaining opportunities that she has. But currently, Wang Yumin still has, one hole over Lee Yvonne and Sung Yu Jin, and I think that could be very, very important for her. But it really depends on how she pulls in or reins in, her performance, because she'll need to pick up the birdies as much as she can now. There won't be much room for errors as far as she's concerned. But she was the golfer to watch at the start of today. Lee Dong-gyun was the golfer to watch for the entire part of yesterday. I still think she's in there, and I still think she's got a fair chance of, running for the championship or giving the current leaders a run for their money. Park Ju-young, well, that's just about flown past Walter Can. It's a good chance for her to actually have got that in straight, and she has come out with some stellar, well, shots in the last 2 days. Sungyujin going in with the second stroke. She needs to keep, well, her points in check as well, and the performance, well, absolutely delightful shot, but that's going to carry straight over and right towards the edge. So, well, it's just one of those, well, times. Now that's really beautiful, isn't it? When you get a crowd cheer like that. And Hwang Yumin, she's got the crowd behind her today. Well, it's just a tad bit unfortunate. I can't help but feel sorry for her about hole 9. But Lee Yvonne, she's on to her second stroke for hole number 11. She's also one of the main golfers in focus. Oh, that is fantastic placement. Absolutely fantastic placement. Well, almost nailed that. Would have said the eagle has landed, but it didn't really transpire. But she's put herself in a good position. Lee Dong-gyun. Well, she'll have to finish with an on par here to keep her points intact. A birdie was always going to be a bit out of contention. Now Kim Min-sun 7 onto her second stroke for hole 11. Oh, absolutely wonderful placement there, Kim Min-sun 7. Park Ji-young. And will bogey the 10th hole, so that means she's going to drop down in the points as well. Park Min-ji onto her third stroke, 98 meters to cover. This is for hole number 13. Well, she got a bit more club on it than she would have liked, and her expression's just going to say that. Lee Dong-gyun now, she's got to be very careful to keep her points intact. She will have to finish with an even score here. And she's going to bogey this one as well. Remember, on the final day, well, the golfers do start a tad bit later. Sungyujin aims for birdie on hole number 11. It's a bit of a tough ask. She might settle for a neutral score there. And Park Ji-young will have to drop to a 6 under. Remember, she had a bogey, 2 bogeys in that front 9, 1 there on the back 9. Kim Min-sun 7. She had that wonderful placement earlier. Aims for birdie on hole 11. Well, that's got to be painful. Well, I think just that slight direction. There is a bit of a Was a bit of an incline there earlier for her. Now Lee Dong-gyun will bogey this one. She'll drop to a 6 under as well. So while Lee Won and Sung Yoo Jin do manage to keep their scores intact, it's been a tad bit of a worry for a few of the others. Here's Lee Won. Will aim for birdie on hole number 11. That's a fabulous bit. So now she'll take the lead with that 12 underscore. 11 underscore, sorry. She's now currently the leader. Lee Won, we were expecting big things from her after we saw her performance yesterday. She was also in the contest, in it to win it. Park Min-ji aims for birdie on hole number 13. Well, you always wish that the crowd's cheer would really get the ball to move a little bit more. Sung Yoo Jin needs to finish on par. And yes, she does. She'll remain in second position right behind her groupmate Lee Won. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? All those drone shots that we've had of these beautiful spots. Just to look back at that 11th hole. And that was fascinating, isn't it? A meeting of the balls. Remember the dew sweepers and the dawn patrol on other days do have their moments, but on the final day it's an entirely different story. Hole number 11, Wang Yumin just carrying an 8 under. That's an absolutely fantastic tee off from her. Very good comeback, and really do love watching her in action, Wang Yumin. She's one of those golfers that just takes things in a stride and just moves on. That's a lovely tee off. Remember, it's a par 4 for the asking, but it's a hole where, as I said, you can view the entire course as well as the surrounding scenery from. Your attack point is very, very important for, and that was for hole number 11. Now this, of course, is Lee Won on hole number 12. This one is a bit of a tricky hole, a par 3 for the asking, as we know. It's located in the valley in the forest. There are bunkers pressing the green back and forth, and you need to tee off into the white space on the left side of the green and then approach it. It's very, very important. Well, up next it's going to be Sung Yoo Jin. It's a very unique spot from the tee off, actually, if you look at it. (165 meters).
잠시만요. 플레이하겠습니다.
Sungyujin wants to take her time. Well, I don't know whether she got as much of club on it as she wanted to. I think she's a tad bit upset about, well, the positioning of that. She would have wanted to get it much closer to the can. Meanwhile, back to hole number 11, and here's Lee Dong-gyun. 280 meters is what we're looking at. Remember, it's a par 4. It's got a fantastic view from the tee-off spot. And that's going to be a tad bit worrying for her. I think that incline, just carrying that ball over and just off the carpet. I think really, if you look at it, it's Hwang Yoo-min who nailed that tee off extremely well for hole number 11. And if she can pull in a birdie, she's going to get herself back into the running, back into the contest. It's going to take a bit of elbow grease, a bit of, she'll have to break a sweat every now and then, but I think she's still in it very much. And the crowd knows that as well. When you have the crowd support and you've got them cheering for you, you want to play to the crowd, and that's, I think, exactly what's going to work for her. The exodus has increased, as we can see, and the reason is because it's the final round. We've got practically, I won't say a full house, but we've got, well, a good amount of spectators, and that's what's needed. You just need that cheer and that encouragement. At the same time, some golfers do need the silence, and that's a really fantastic tee off. Very unassuming, isn't it, Hwang Yoo-min? When you actually look at her, she's not one of those tall golfers. She's not one of those buffed golfers. She's just very petite. You wouldn't expect her to be able to craft out those powerful drives sometimes, but yes, she does. She's a very dedicated golfer, a very, very focused golfer. Lee Won, of course, still leading the way with Sung Yoo-jin coming in second, and they are on 11 under and 10 under respectively. Remember that tied fourth position also is still looking fairly strong. In third position, of course, you've got Hwang Yoo-min, who's on that 8 under. She's definitely looking to uplift herself, but Lee Won definitely taking that lead and holding on to it very well. Well, whenever you're looking at any golfers that really shine as far as the rankings are concerned, you know that you can expect something special from them, and that's exactly what you will see. It's very rarely that golfers in form would dip out. Yujin will aim for birdie on hole number 12. It's a bit of a tough ask for her, but if she gets that in, well, I'll be overjoyed, and it's so close. Well, as long as she can keep that even score, she can still, well, remain close to her group mate, and that is Lee Yvonne. Meanwhile, Lee Dong-gyun, well, she's had a lot of challenges today. She's been able to be consistent with the performances, but remember, she'll aim for eagle here on hole number 11. Still has a chance for a birdie. I do believe an eagle would have been great for her. Well, just not exuding that confidence that she had yesterday, Lee Dong-gyun. I think it's a bit of nerves as well. Getting into the final round as expectations. Kim Min-sun 7 will aim for birdie on hole 12. She's on a 7 under currently. 7.1 meters. Oh, well done. And she'll uplift herself to, well, a tied third with that 8 under, where she now joins Hwang Yu-min. And talk of the golfer, and here she is. That is that fantastic tee-off that we had from her. Absolute perfection. We always talk of it, the hallmark of a good golfer. Now remember, there's a bit of an incline here. She's got to gauge this shot extremely well. She's got to be careful. We'll aim for eagle. What a narrow miss. What a narrow miss. It would have been amazing to see an eagle here today. For Hwang Yu-min. Well, so wanted it after that big roadblock she had. Lee Won will aim for birdie on hole number 12. It's a bit of a distance for her. She'll have to go in for a neutral finish here. There's no doubt about it. Park Chu-young. And that's a birdie on the 11th for her, so she'll be, well, happy about that. She's back to that tied 5th. So coming back from a bogey on the 10th, and she's on to a 7 under score now. Needed to finish that soon enough, Hwang Yu-min. And we'll accept that applause. So she's got a birdie on the 11th. And that's her first birdie on the back 9. She'll need a lot more of those going ahead. Sung Yoo-jin. Finish on par for hole 12, so she keeps that 10 under as well. Looks like the positions will be unchanged for a tad bit on that leaderboard. Choi Ye-rim aims for birdie on hole 13. And yes, she gets it. It's a marvelous effort from her. Remember, Choi Ye-rim was one of the front runners on day 1. She's got a 3 under currently. Now Lee Dong-gyun. Chance for a birdie here. And the victory lap for her. That's done. So a sigh of relief for her. She's up to a 7 under now. Remember, she's had 3 bogeys today, and that's really been her undoing.
플레이하겠습니다.
Kimmonson 7. That's for hole number 13. Remember, it's a par 5 for the asking. You need to get the distance advantage with your tee shot for this particular hole. That's a slightly raised green with an oak forest in the background, if you can actually look at it. And that's when you approach the green itself. It's blocked by bunkers on the front and back, so it's very difficult to hit a 2-on. You've got to aim for the right side of the green, or try and keep your shot towards that. Now Lee Yvonne, who's the current leader, she'll tee off for hole 13 as well. Well, she stayed out of the cat box and she knows it.
플레이하겠습니다. 잠시 멈춰주세요.
All very important for this trio to keep their act together. And there we go, that I love to call it the exodus, which is really just the migration that we're looking at. So while the contest heats up, let's remind you once again that we are coming at you live from Gyeonggi-do, which is right here in the Yangpyeong County. It's the Star Hue Golf Course, and this is the suhyup-bank MBN Women's Open. My name is Glenn Mascarenas, and I'm here to take you right through till the end of the day. It's a 1 billion won event, and right now at hole number 12, it's Hwang Yumin. She's going in with a 6-iron, 165 meters, a par 3. That's what's on offer here. She definitely got a lot of club on that. Lee Dong-gyun will go in with a 7-iron for her effort for the tee off on hole number 12. Well, right here on hole number 12, of course, your target located in the deep, so on the green, and I think that's very important to craft your shot well. It's over to Sungyu Jin now. She goes in for her world second shot for hole number 13. Well, still keeping herself on the fairways. I think she'll be fairly happy with that effort. Kim Min-sun 7 is up next. She's got a healthy 8 under, and if she can, of course, stay very consistent with her performance, she might just be tapping on the doors of the championship here. A tournament win is so important. Keep in mind the fact there's always the possibility, of course, that you do have, tied scores at the end. And for quite a bit of time, it was Lee Won who was tied with Sungyu Jin before Lee Won decided to take that lead. She's on to her second. She's got a couple of beaches in front of her. Needed to angle that, and she's done well to stay out of the danger zone or out of trouble. Picked a position carefully. Leave on. She is a thinking golfer, and we've seen what she's capable of in the year. Let's not forget that she won the Blue Canyon Ladies Championship on the 17th of March. And that was for $650,000 US. And then, of course, she also won the 12th May NH Investment and Securities Ladies Championship. So she's actually chasing her third championship year. None of the other winners, in this year have really been tapping on that tournament win for this time, except for Hwang Yu-min, who was the other winner on the 7th of April when she won the Doosan ENC Weave Championship. That was again a 1 billion won, a 1.2 billion won event. 18.5 points on that one for her. Here's one of my favorites, a golfer that I always love to watch in action, Park Min-ji. To her second stroke for hole number 15. Well, that ball certainly hurt the crowd. It certainly did, and Park Min-ji will have a smile for that one. It's been a very good placement from her. Got that positioning really right. Now, here's Hwang Yu-min back again. It's a long distance, there's no doubt about it. Would have liked to have got that ball position closer, but it's 23.6 meters. Well, that's an absolutely wonderful placement. At least she's put herself well in line for an on-par finish. Well, she's really had the crowd behind her today. There's no doubt about it. She's had, well, the fans, family and friends, and all the spectators behind her. Easy clean up for her. She'll stay with that on-par finish. She'll keep her points intact for the time being. So I think that really serves her well. Meanwhile, yes, Sungyu Jin. Her third stroke for hole number 13. 92 meters to the hole is what she's looking at. Well, decent positioning from her, there's no doubt about it. It's over to Lee Yvonne now. And Lee Yvonne, of course, will be very keen on taking advantage of this hole number 13. Oh, that is absolutely fabulous placement from her. She's really performed extremely well in round 2 and here on the final day. Really coming good. Save the best for last. Well, she is the golfer to beat in the event currently. Kim Min-sun 7 will go on for her third stroke for hole number 13. Then again, I've always said it's never about you performing against another golfer but against yourself. It's always, a contest about how consistent or how good you are on that particular day. So golfers really play against themselves more than anyone else. That's what makes it such a different sport from every other sport possible. You don't challenge your opponent, you challenge yourself to better yourself on a given day. Kim Min-sun 7. Well, she's got herself onto the green, and I think that'll still put her in better stead than being away from it. Here's Park Min-ji. And it's a birdie on the 15th. She's up to an 8 under as well. So 3 more to go for Park Min-ji. She'll need to pull birdies in for everyone if she is to stand a chance of making it to the top. She's in tied 4th with Kim Min-sun 7 on 8 under. Remember, Hwang Yumin is still in 3rd with 9 under. And that's a story, isn't it? Lee Won on 11 under at the top. Sung Yoo-jin 10 under in 2nd, and Hwang Yumin in 3rd with a 9 under. That tells us a bit of a story, doesn't it? And then you've got the tied 4th, which is 8 under. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11. Very, very well structured and layered, if you ask me, that top 4. As we get into, the remaining rounds, remember Hwang Yumin along with Kim Min-sun 7 and Sung Yoo-jin, and of course right at the top there, Lee Won, have all gone through those 12 rounds. It's shaping up to be a fairly tight contest here between the ladies, and left to be seen what they can come up with. Hwang Yumin, of course, still has a tad bit of an advantage over the other group trio because she's, just 1 hole behind, in the sense she started, just a little bit later.
몇 년치 연봉이 날라간다니까.
Kimmonson 7 will aim for birdie on hole number 13. It's a bit of a distance. Remember, there's an incline that she's got to get past. She actually got that right. Just needed a tad bit more of a push. Here's Hwang Yumin. She tees off for hole number 13. 480 meters is what we're looking at. Remember, this hole, of course, does have an extremely wide fairway. You've got to gain, well, the distance advantage, and that's what Hwang Yumin was aiming for. Sung Yoo Jin will aim for birdie here on hole number 13. Well, she needs this if she wants to, well, stay, well, shoulder to shoulder with Lee Yvonne.
너는 어떡하니? 많이 약을.
Now that's just, the ball's just got a mind of its own, isn't it? So she'll settle for an on par, but what a chance here to have nailed that birdie, and she knows it. Well, every single hole, when you miss out on an under score, you definitely would be disappointed. Now here's Lee Dong-gyun. She tees off for hole number 13. Remember, we said that this, of course, has a wide fairway. It's a slightly raised green with an oak forest in the background, and that's blocked by bunkers on the front and back, and that's exactly what we meant. And if you aren't too careful, you can get yourself into the cat box. Here's Lee Won. Now she can uplift her performance even further, stretch that lead at the top if she wants. And yes, she's up to a 12 under now, and that's 2 points ahead of her closest challenger, which is Sung Yoo Jin. Flawless performance today. 6 birdies in there. Absolutely flawless performance from Lee Won. Meanwhile, Kim Min-sun 7 looking to finish on par for hole number 13.
내가 얘기했다, 내가.
And she'll keep her 8 under score. The 14th hole will bring its own share of challenges. We're looking at 153 meters. You can view the green from afar, which looks to be floating on water, but of course from that drone shot it looks separate. And keep in mind the fact that it's a hole with an impressive view. You can look at the clubhouse there in the background, and also keep in mind the fact that it's difficult to attack directly. You have to be very cautious about distance and direction on this particular hole. I love those water spouts the most. Absolutely stunning, like 2 crystal flowers in full bloom. Here's Lee Won. Remember, this is a very, very tricky hole. That's the reason why there's a hole-in-one event here. You can walk away with that Mercedes maroon EQB. Such a lovely, well, car that is there. But this is hole 13, par 5 for the asking. And I do stand corrected. It looks like Lee Won finished on par with her previous effort, or unless we've got it wrong with the scoring. We'll have to just figure that out. But it's showing that she's still on 11 under. Now here goes young Wang Yumin onto a second stroke for hole 13. Well, she's flown the green with that, stayed out of the beach for certain, but she'll have to work a tad bit. I think she got a lot of club on that, there's no doubt about it. Now here's Park Min-ji. Second stroke for hole number 16. She's gone in with a 9-iron. That's a cheer from the crowd. Will have to work for a birdie, but if she doesn't nail it, she can still finish with an on par. Elsewhere, Sung Yoo-jin. He's off for hole 14. Well, remember hole 14, it's a par 3 for the asking, and not as was shown earlier, but there's a reason why that car is on offer. I said earlier, it's not the easiest of holes. So here we have it, the current lineup as it stands. Lee Won sitting at the top of the table with that 12 under. I was right about that. So Sung Yoo-jin is still on 10 under in second. Wang Yumin with 9 under in third. So do pardon us for our faux pas with the graphics of the scores at certain times. But as it stands, it looks like it's a much better outing for the ladies. So let's also run you through this one bit. We are currently on the Hue course and not the Star course. So for hole number 14, which is well, that par 3 for the asking, and where you did see that beautiful car that's located at the highest point of the course, offers a panoramic view of the course and the mountains ridge in the distance. It's a hole that requires precision in distance and direction. At the same time, you have to keep in mind it's a downhill hole. So when you have something like an exquisite four-wheeler on offer, there's the proof in the pudding of how tough it's going to be is when you see the golfers in action, and that's what we're going to have a look at right now. I don't think anyone's going to be, well, driving home with that at this contest. I would love to. Maybe not to keep it, even for a test drive. I'd absolutely love it. Back to Parkman G. Well, she'll aim for birdie here on hole number 16. Well, that's beautifully done. Absolutely confident. Well, spewing there from her. It's 9 under as she finishes the 16th hole. And I've always said this, regardless of winning the tournament or not, Parkman G, it's just one of those golfers that is really exciting to watch because she will always churn out a good performance. It's very rarely that you'll see her having a really bad day. Well, when you do know that you're maybe 3 points behind the leader, you've got only 3 holes left, like in Parkman G's case, well, if you can avoid making any mistakes, you're still putting yourself in a very good position to challenge the front runner. And that's who we have right here. Lee Won currently leading the way with that 12 under, aims for birdie on hole number 14. Oh, that is perfection. Everything has gone right for this young lady here today. Absolute perfection. She's on to 13 under now, and let's make that count. 7 birdies, 4 on the front 9, 3 on the back 9, and Lee Won still has a long way to go. Absolute perfection there. She's in stellar form. Very much in the zone. Well, I did think that Hwang Yumin was at the start of the day, but Lee Won now just stretching that lead at the top, and she's beginning to put this contest, well, a little bit beyond her co-competitors. If she can keep herself, well, disciplined and focused as she is currently, this tournament is hers to win. Hwang Yumin, just a bit too much of club on that on hole number 13. Needed to be a tad bit more gentle, and she knows it. Sung Yoo Jin also aiming for birdie here. And yes, she's nailed it, so she's on to 11 under. She's staying close to the top, just 2 points behind the leader. She too has had 6 birdies here today, Sung Yoo Jin. She missed out on one just in the previous, well, hole. Very, very focused performance from her. Well, if she wants to stay abreast of the leader, she'll have to hope for a mistake from the leader and for her to be making no mistake at all. So, well, that's the equation, isn't it? Just trying to do the math. But here's Park Ju-young. Aim for birdie on hole number 13. Let's put it very close to, well, the destination. And she'll clean that up. Won't waste too much of time. A neutral score is better than, well, finishing over. Getting ready to tee off for their next challenge. And here's Lee Won. Well, she's got the honors for this one. Lee Won will tee off for hole number 15. She's carrying a 13 under. Remember, it's a par 4 for the asking, yeah? Well, this hole does have the Gosong mineral water in the middle of the hole, and the green is located deep in the forest. It's quiet but demanding. It feels like as if you're taking a walk in a dense forested area. And well, you look at the thicket that surrounds the teeing off area itself and it'll tell you a bit of a story. Suhyup-bank will go on next. And that's well done by Suhyup-bank. It's not the happiest moment for her, but she's been able to pull herself out of the woods every now and then. I don't mean literally the woods, but out of the, well, deep end. Now here's Hwang Yoo-min. They'll aim for birdie on hole number 13. Oh, that's well done. A semi-victory lap from her. So it's a 10 under. She's in a joint third currently, but very well done. Hwang Yoo-min, well, she's been the comeback story in today's event. There's no doubt about it. After that deep stumble, she's just pulled herself up well. Well, if she hadn't missed out on those points for, hole number 9, I do believe she would have been neck and neck there with Lee Won. But she dropped 3 points. Because that's exactly what the difference is between her and the top. So, Lee Won, of course, it's been a flawless performance from her today. There's no taking anything away from her. Suhyup-bank has played, second fiddle, but she's still very much in it to win it. So, at the top, Lee Won with 13 under. Suhyup-bank in second with 11 under. Hwang Yoo-min in third with 10 under. Park Min-ji in fourth with 9 under. Then you've got Kim Min-sun, 7 with 8 under in fifth. So this is where the contest is currently, and it's brewing to be a tough one between these ladies. And then the tied sixth, you've got Park Gyeol, Yoon Soo-ah, Hyo Da-bin, Lee Dong-gyun, and Park Ju-young. Park Gyeol and Lee Dong-gyun were two of the leaders yesterday. Lee Dong-gyun finishing at the top of the heap, but today, of course, it's been an entirely different story. But Lee Won has slowly but surely she crept under the radar yesterday, was not up there in the, the flash performers. But today, well, it's been her day. And that's what champions do, isn't it? You build up. Very rarely, you do have, of course, some athletes who love to lead from the front. But most athletes will build up. And it's one of the things that you have probably in marathons or long distance running. One of my favorite runners, the late Steve Prefontaine, led from the front. It probably was a favorite because that style was unique. But most golfers do not peak on their first and second round, but they stay consistent. And then on the third and final day, that's when they pull out every trick in the bag. Or every bit of skill in the bag. Let me not call it a trick. So while the contest heats up right here, let's remind you once again that this is a 1 billion won event. We're coming at you live from the Star Hue Golf Resort. And this, of course, is a course that is really beautiful. One of the most scenic ones that you have in Korea. Absolutely love it. This is the SH suhyup-bank MBN Women's Open 2024. The contest returning to the calendar after a good bit of time, a couple of years actually. Lee won, goes in for a second stroke on hole number 15. It's 113 meters to the hole. Oh, that is terrific. That is terrific from Lee Yvonne, and she knows it. Absolutely marvelous placement there. And we do know one thing for certain. This is that part of the tournament where you want to do everything right. Well, so close to coming so close to having nailed that. Sung Jin is up next. Could have been an eagle for Lee Yvonne. Let's see what Sung Jin can come up with. Has also got it fairly close, but it's a tad bit of a distance compared to her other two group mates. Well, it's just one of those moments in golf, isn't it? You know, on certain days, you want to hit your stride on the final day, and if you can do that, it's just absolutely marvelous. Really, today, while yesterday Lee Dong-gyun was the golfer to get past, today it is Lee Won who is the golfer to beat in the tournament. Hwang Yoo-min, she's still keeping, well, her hopes up because she's been performing. On to hole number 14. Remember, it's a par 3 for the asking, 153 meters. She's gone in with the 8 iron. It's at a tad bit of a distance. A birdie might be quite a challenge here, but she'll have to aim to keep it on par. She cannot afford to bogey any shots now. Meanwhile, Park Min-ji, isn't that a beautiful sight behind? That water spout in the background. What a picturesque setting. Park Min-ji with the second stroke on for hole number 17. And, well, she's flown the green there. There's no doubt about it. But absolutely love that shot. What a photograph. And I'm sure one of the photographers would have captured that. Absolutely stunning shot. So teeing off for hole number 14 as well is Lee Dong-gyun. Well placed shot. She kept a stiff arm there. There's more wrist and forearm movement than anything else. She's done well. Here's Lee Won. Aims for birdie. She could have even nailed an eagle with that one. And she's definitely now, well, going from strength to strength. That's a 14 under that we're looking at. Sung Yoo-jin will have to try and match that. Because if she wants to stay in contention of the tournament win, she's got to stay close to the leader in terms of the points. Just a tad bit of nerves for her, but she'll have to calm herself down, take her time. That's just a narrow miss. She'll have to settle for an on par finish. A tad bit unfortunate for her. While Lee Won has been pulling those consecutive birdies in. I think she was staying close. Now it's up to Hwang Yoo-min. She's got a bit of a distance to cover. And she'll have to settle for an even score here on hole number 14. should be an easy cleanup for her. Well, as long as she, well, stays away from the bogeys, I think she should be fine. Kim Min-sun 7 is on next. She'll aim for birdie as well. On hole number 15, that could take her up to a 9 under. And that's, well, actually lipped in if you ask me. So 9 under for her, and that's a 4th birdie of the day. She had 1 bogey, of course, in that front 9. Over to Lee Dong-gyun. Also has a chance for a birdie here on hole number 14. Oh, marvelous, absolutely marvelous shot from Lee Dong-gyun, and this is the golfer that we saw yesterday in action. She's had 2 birdies now on the back 9, so she'll uplift her performance. Sung Yoo-jin. And she'll take an even score there. Park Chu-young next. Oh, well done. Park Chu-young too. Well, delighting the audience here. She's got another birdie in there, which means she's up to an 8 under. Still 4 holes left to play for her. Getting ready to tee off now is Lee Won. She's had the honors a couple of times today.
잠시만요.
And that's hole number 16. Well, if you think there was going to be a delay and a tied score at the top, I don't think that's going to be happening here today. Well, when you've got a golfer in the zone like this, it gets to be a bit difficult for the rest of the chasing pack. And she's definitely in the zone. Hole number 16, par 4 for the asking, 365 meters.
이동 멈춰주세요.
Wang Yumin will go on with hole number 15. It's a par 4 for the asking. It's a bit of a dogleg hole that circles the dense forest. You have to be in control of the distance and direction of your tee shot. Try and keep the ball towards the left side of the wide fairway center bunker, and also got to keep off the right side bunker. As long as you get the direction correct, you can gain a lot of ground and reach for the green much faster. But that was, of course, for hole number 15. Now for hole number 16, here's Sung Yoo-jin. Remember, the green from a distance looks to be floating on water. Long hitters really thrive here. I think she'll be fairly happy with that performance today. Sung Yoo-jin, but she was right up there for a while, in contention for the top. Well, that migration will continue, or rather what we call the exodus. Parkman will aim for birdie on hole number 17. It's a tad bit of a distance, and I think that ball's going to just fall short. Bit of a tad bit of a dribbler from her, but I think she'll settle for an even score here. Hwang Yumin still keeping that spirit going. Does bring a different element of charm to the sport. Hwang Yumin. She's very sprightly, very girl-like. So, second stroke on hole number 15, and by that I purely mean, well, ladylike, meaning a little more mature. She's a terrific golfer, but just adds that new world charm to the sport. So does Lee Yvonne. Just another one of the young golfers, very, very well, powerful on the course. Second stroke for hole number 16. Remember, she's carrying a 14 under score. And that's again fantastic placement from her. If she can nail a birdie on this, I do believe she will put this contest well beyond the other competitors. Sung Jin, who's carrying that 11 under. Pushing that well. Looking to gain a bit of ground. But it's going to be a bit of a tough ask here for Sung Jin now. She's got to stay, well, flawless with her performance as well. 67 meters to the hole for Park Yoo-jong. And she's really such an exciting golfer. She's had so many ups and downs with Park Yoo-jong. She has come out with some really stellar performances on some holes. And she's just, well, just fallen far from the pack on a few others. Park Min-ji will have to settle for a neutral score here on hole number 17, and she's just about missed it, which means she's going to bogey that. She can't believe that. Well, it's just bad timing. I think she's pretty resigned to the fact that she's not going to be challenging the tournament a winner. Well, this will be her penultimate hole, her penultimate challenge. And she bogeys that. Her points are definitely going to drop down to 8 under because she's currently tied with Kim Min-sun on 9 under in tied 4th. So Park Min-ji will drop down to a tied 6th. Hwang Yumin still very much in there, still chasing the top, which is Lee Won and second place Sung Yoo Jin. But I do believe if Lee Won does nail a birdie on this very hole, she'll be up to a 15 under, and with just about 4 holes left, she's going to put that contest out of anyone's reach unless she bogeys the next couple of holes that she plays. The next 2 holes that would be. So it's really a tight affair. Now it's all about Lee Won not making any mistake, and if she does, well, number 2 and number 3 do have a shot at maybe challenging that tournament win. Here's Lee Won. Remember, this is a very, very important moment for her. It's hole 16. Chance here for a birdie. Needs a bit of concentration. 5.4 meters. And that's just going to fall short. That ball certainly afraid of the dark. But I do believe she'll clean that up and she'll still keep her score intact and that leadership position. So 2 more holes left to go. She's got a 14 under. I don't think she's got anything to worry about currently. It's really about now the challengers, whether they can step up their game. And Hwang Yumin, of course, is still very much in there. A birdie, bit of a tough ask from that position for hole number 15. But stranger things have happened on a golf course. And it looks like it's going to be another even score for her. But well done. She's put herself very close to, well, the can. Meanwhile, Sung Yoo Jin, not so much is expected from her. That's also going to be an even score for her. Meanwhile, here's Park Chu-young. Spoke of how she's given us some stellar moments on the course, and yes, she has. Aims for birdie on hole number 15. And that's well done. That's exactly what I meant. Perfect placement earlier. Her approach shot was brilliant. And finishes there now. She's had 3 birdies on the back 9. Up to a 9 under. Well, sometimes you may not win the tournament, but to know that you came away fighting, well, that's really what sets you up for the next one. Kim Min-sun 7. She's on a 9 under. Will aim for birdie on hole 16. And that's beautifully done. She's up to a 10 under as well. She too has performed very well here today. 5 birdies in there, 3 on the back 9. Still 2 holes to play for. Sung Yoo-jin. And she'll finish with an on par. So she's at 11 under. Kim Min-sun, who's a group mate, is on 10 under. And then right at the top, the other group mate, Lee Yvonne, is on 14 under. Oh, what a group this is, isn't it? Meanwhile, the other group that was really performing at their best, Wang Yu-min, look for an on-par finish for hole 15. And she'll stay on that, well, point count as well. So interesting times here as we get off for the tee off for hole number 17. And this one, of course, it's going to be interesting. Lee Yvonne will have the honors once again. For hole number 17, Kim Min-sun 7. Well, she takes the honors this time. Well, let's not forget that she had a birdie as well there. I do stand corrected. Lee Won, of course, had an on-par finish. It was Kim Min-sun who had a birdie on hole number 16. So rightfully, yes, she did have the honors. Taking that away from Lee Won for a bit. Lee Won will go next. So 380 meters. It's a par 4 for the asking. It's a unique hole. If you can cross the pond, land safely on the fairway, it's better to keep that club well strong for your approach shot. Now there's a bunker blocking the front of the green. It looks threatening, but it's not. But it's that pond that is the really important part. The bunker in front of the green looks more like an optical illusion, but there's enough of space between the greens to take a bold approach. Just a quick look at Lee Yvonne and how she performed in that, well, first hole, where she started off her run of birdies. And that was really a sign of things to come, a teaser, if you can call it that. She was at that time in tied second. And then on hole number 3 as well, she shone bright once again. She was already in tied first with that 8 under score at that time. She was still in tied third, you would believe. And that just knocked the flagstick, didn't it? What a chance here for her to have nailed, well, that, but she's really been in stellar form. In the 9th hole, she had already moved up to a 9 under. And that's when she moved up to 10 into second position by the 9th. So on the front 9, she had already got to the second position with a 10 under. She was still behind Hwang Yu-min, who was 11 under at the time. And then by the time the 11th hole came, that's when she separated herself from well, Sung Yoo-jin. And that's where she took the leadership on hole number 11 with that 11 under. Was back with the 13th hole
박현경이었으면 아마 저기 새까맣게
to stretch that lead to a 12 under. It's really been perfection from her. And I've said this before, there's only one way to describe it. Flawless is what the performance has been. Then on that 14th hole, stretched the lead to a 13 under. And then by the time she got to the 15th hole, well, that was almost an eagle for her. She finished with the birdie, but took a score up to a 14 under. Missed out on the next hole. Well, she's been the delight of the final round. There's no doubt about it. Now here's Hwang Yoo-min, pretty much a darling of the crowds here, but well, did have a huge stumbling block on hole number 9. She was the actual leader on that front 9 to begin with. Well, tees off for hole number 16. She's still carrying that 10 under score. Well, I just had to get myself a nice hot cup of joe. Perfect for moments like this, which has been such an exciting day. Park Min-ji will narrowly miss out on the birdie, and that of course is going to be her final tap in for the day. Just a tad bit disappointed. She would have wanted to finish with the birdie, but she'll acknowledge the crowd. It's been a challenge for her, but she's been fairly consistent. Finishes with an 8 under in this event on the final day. A bit tough for her. She missed out on a couple of birdies in there, and I think she did have a bogey as well. But Lee Won still leads the way. Lee Won and Sung Yoo-jin are in first and second with 14 under and 11 under respectively. Remember, this is the 17th hole that she's playing for. Lee Won. ...142 meters to her destination for hole number 17. That's the second stroke. Kept a good arm on that one. Bit of a tough ask here to get an underscore, but I think she'll aim for it. Well, as long as she does not bogey any of these two holes, I think she's still in a very, very strong position to claim this tournament. She's been a cool customer, very calm, very collected. Excellent temperament here today.
우리가 들어가는 방향 핀 뒤로 바로.
Sung Yoo-jin. That's her second stroke for hole number 17. And she's got herself onto the rough. Well, every time she does take a stroke, it's almost like she's resigned to the fact that she's just going to settle for second best. But, well, you still got to keep doing what you're doing. Keep in mind the fact that Hwang Yoo-min was leading in that first 9. But Lee Won just kept doing what she does. Kim Min-sun 7 now, on to her second stroke for hole number 17. She too packs in a great amount of talent. Decent placement for her. She's been able to chalk out or churn out birdies from out of nowhere or from impossible situations. And I think that that's so important, because if you can do that, well, it really tells us a story of what to expect. Now Lee Won moving on to her next challenge, that is to finish off with hole number 17. She's very well aware that it's got to be, she's got a skip in a step, because she knows very much that she's got 1 foot across the finish line. Now here's Park Ju-young. A second stroke for hole number 16. Oh, that is fantastic placement. That is absolutely fantastic placement. Was just talking about this young lady. You know, she may have had her downs in the tournament, but it's those ups, it's those stellar moments that have really, you know, made for some excellent viewing. Now here's Hwang Yoo-min. So second stroke for hole number 16. Just about escaped the trap right in front of her. She'll have to craft her shot well. $109 is what we're looking at. That's a bit of a distance from the flagstick, but she'll take it. Got Sung Ye-jin in there. She's got to decide which wedge she's going to go with. She has to chip that out well. It's quite a distance from, well, the can for her. Remember, this is hole 17. I think she was being a tad bit cautious. Needed to get a bit more of a push on that, but yes, Hwang Yoo-min, hole number 16. A birdie, the big challenge here. Well, that's an outstanding effort. Just fell shy. A Cuban for her, but I think she will be happy with the fact that she can, well, clean it up really soon. So she'll finish with an even score for this. Now she's got just 2 holes left to play with that 10 under score. Lee Won will aim for birdie for hole number 17. Very close. She can clean that up soon and just settle for that even score. She'll still keep her 14 under. And well, her group mates will just allow her to get that done with. So 17 holes done, 14 under, no bogeys in there. As I said, it's been a flawless performance from her. She's just got one hole to go, and she knows she's got her hands on the tournament. It's all about being able to cap off now that final hole. Well, this contest pretty much beyond the reach of the others currently in terms of the points. Well, I think she'd settled it pretty much on the 15th hole, if I'm not mistaken. And that's when she went into that 14 under, well, lead. So Kim Min-sun 7 aims for birdie on hole number 17. Remember, she's sporting a 10 under currently. So a Cuban for her as well. Park Ju-young will aim for birdie on hole number 16. And that's another one from her. She's up to a 10 under now. She's gone from strength to strength. Well, they've been not winner of the tournament, but it's been very good for her morale. Here's Sung Yoo-jin. And that's just slipped out. Tad bit unfortunate for her. Should have loved to have got that birdie in there. Would have taken her to a 12 under. She's missed out on 3 birdies actually, and that's been her undoing. And she knows she could have nailed that, you know, but here on the 17th, she's bogeyed that as well. So she's dropped to a 10 under. So, well, she'll just accept that gracefully, but it is disappointing for her. She was, well, running neck and neck with Lee Won for a couple of holes. Kim Min-sun 7. She too missed out on a few chances for a couple of birdies there. She's on to hole 17, carrying that 10 under. I do believe she will be very keen on, well, just avoiding a bogey more than anything else. And she's kept it fairly simple here as she cleans it up. One more hole to play. Teeing off now for hole number 17. Here's Hwang Yoo-min. Well, she was grouped with Lee Won yesterday, and they're good mates actually. Today set in different groups. She was leading the pack just till a certain point of time. Absolutely stunning view of this course. Let's not forget that one of the things that I've always said is you've got to give credit where credit is due, and while Park Ju-young, of course, gets ready to take this, She tees off for hole number 17. Well, she stayed out of trouble for that one. Let's remind you very quickly that the Star Hue Golf Resort, which is right here in Yangpyeong County, close to Mount Yongmunsan and Mount Yamyongsan. This course, of course, was designed by, this is very important, by architect Song Ho Chung, and that was in 2009 when it was put together. And the shaping was done by Tom Peck, who literally had to carve the fairways from very heavily forested landscape. So every hole that is played, of course, is in complete isolation from the other, and it's a complete escape from the outside world. It's almost like a different or a parallel universe of sorts when you're at this course. It's secluded, it's isolated, it's beautiful, serene. I think it's very healing. You know, the weather here, the atmosphere, the quality of air, absolutely stunning. It's got great views, and if you're a golf lover and you know, if that is your relaxation or that's your stride or your escapist route, this is one of those places that you'll definitely enjoy. I've seen a ton of you know, K-drama stars around the area, as well as a few K-pop stars who do like to unwind and play golf. Kim Min-sun, 7, will tee off for the final hole of this event. And she gets the honors for the second time around. Lee Won will go next. Lee Won really going for gold here. She wants to make the most of well, her time. Well, she knows where she currently stands. She's got that winning smile. And well, whatever it is, it's a very, very deserving performance for her. So you can't take that away from her. Sung Yoo-jin. She's had a few challenging moments, there's no doubt about it. So it's been a fairly strong contest here today, there's no doubt about it. Can't really take away the fact that we had, well, 6 golfers in there who were the main contenders here today. And out of those 6, it definitely has boiled down to, you know, the final 4, and then from the final 4 to the final 3, and then the final 2, and now just 1, which is Lee Won, who leads the way, playing for the final hole, which is hole 18. Let's also remind you once again that this is the SH suhyup-bank MBN Women's Ladies Open 2024. Remember, I said this, the contest has returned to the fold after a good period of time. And one thing to keep in mind is the fact that, well, the prize money for this is 1 billion won, which is 723,274.90 US dollars. Ask me how I'm so good at it. Well, I had it written down. So, so that's pretty much the story as far as this event is concerned. So the Korea Ladies Professional Golf Association, which is the KLPGA, we get so used to abbreviations all the time. But the suhyup-bank MBN Women's Open, you keep in mind the fact it's returned to the Star and Resort course for the first time in 5 years. Park Min-ji was the last winner, and that was in 2019, and she was considered to be the strongest candidate to win it this year, because it was almost like a sabbatical in a sophomore year for her in this event. But well, she did finish with an above average performance, but I don't think she was too happy with that. Would have loved to have finished off the event with a birdie, but she missed out on that too. So here we have it. Lee Yvonne getting ready for her next challenge. Lee Yvonne. A second stroke for hole 18.
감사합니다.
Sung Yoo-jin on to her second stroke. Escapes the trap once again there. Here's Kim Min-sun 7. She's on to her second stroke for hole number 18. 240 meters. It's a bit of a distance. Wang Yumin. She's on hole 17. Gets out fairly close, but it's still a bit of a distance from the can. She'll get an applause from the crowd. I just can't help but feel really awful for her. She was such a bright starter today. And it takes a lot of strength no matter how young or old you are, to be able to take it in your stride, knowing that you could have just won this tournament and you just have one major stumbling block. It's just that one moment that can change, well, the course of history in a tournament. Here's Park Chu-young. Well, such an amazing play there. Just needed a little bit more legs. Well, that shot. Sung Yoo-jin. Stroke number 3 for her for hole 18. That's terrific placement from her, and a cheer from the crowd as well, and that'll do her a world of good. Definitely needs that more than anything else. Here's Lee Won. Oh, beautiful tracking on that one. Oh, that just missed it. That just missed it. Could have actually been an eagle there for her. Got the direction right, absolutely spot on. Just a picture of concentration there. Lee Won. She has been the silver lining, there's no doubt, of this contest. And here is Kim Min-sun 7 on with her third stroke as well. And that's... that would have been an eagle. And this is what we talk about, the talent that this young lady has. That would have been an eagle. Well, that is such a fantastic effort from her. Just look at that. Just lipped out there. It would have been such a fine ender to the tournament for her. Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning there. And cheers here for these two, Lee Won and Kim Min-sun 7. They're also down to their final, well, event. Lee Won knows it. She's got her hands on that trophy. There's no doubt about it. Kim Min-sun, of course, taking the honors for these last few rounds. And today she would have, if there was a 19, she would have. So she finishes with 11 under. 69, 69 in the first and second round, and 67. So actually she's bettered a performance. A fantastic finish from her. Meanwhile, here's Hwang Yoo-min, looking to finish with an even score on hole number 17. And yes, she does. She's still got one hole to play. Remember, while there's always a winner, there's always a second and a third as well. And there is prize money in there too. Of course, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about the win, but still. Lee Won, Sung Yoo Jin will be playing out their final, well, shot of the day. Here goes Lee Won, aiming for birdie on hole 18. Can she do it? Well, she'll narrowly miss out on it, but she could tap that in and finish with a neutral score. She'd still hold on to that lead. Sung Yoo Jin will go on next. I don't think it's going to bother her too much as long as she can, well, tap that in. She's, well, I said this a while back, it's actually in round 15 that she'd pretty much, well, captured the tournament. And even though she hasn't been able to pull in the birdies after that, I think those even scores have done well. Now you're teeing off for a final hole of the day as Hwang Yoo-min. It's a par 5 for the asking, the 18th hole. And she will want to finish this event in style. Absolutely glorious swing there from her. And Sung Yoo Jin has had a moment, but she'll just want to get the job done with, and that's what she does. 70 in the first round, 69 in the second, and 67 in the final round. She'll finish with a 10 under. She would have liked to have birdied the final one, but she's got a smile on her face. So now it's left to be seen who finishes second best in that tournament. I think that's so important. Lee Won, well, very well knows that she will claim this tournament regardless of what she does with the current shot. She's going to play for an on-par finish. I think Hwang Yoo-min has got a very strong chance of finishing second best. And that's it. The sound of that hitting the can. The final moment for Lee Won. She is 14 under and definitely the winner in that final round. She's had an 8 under score, so that's 8 birdies that we're looking at. She's been in stellar form, flawless performance here today. If you split it up and you say, 8 birdies, it's practically almost like saying 4 on the front, 4 on the back. But the bottom line remains that it's been a flawless performance and it's been stunning from her. So Lee Won most definitely will have capped off the 3rd win of the year. And she'll keep that ranking of the top spot in place. Kim Min-sun 7. Well, they have to take their scorecards, do the tallying.
축하해. 엄마 가서 3번 우동 받으니까. 불러줄게.
And there's Sung Yoo Jin.
442.
Well, Sung Yoo Jin came so close to its winning the contest. So did Hwang Yoo-min. Remember, we've still got Hwang Yoo-min and Lee Dong-gyun and Park Yoo-jin playing out their 18th hole.
444 234 234 443 524 425 455 맞아.
So Lee Won, as we said earlier, did win the Blue Canyon Ladies Championship. That was on the 7th of April. Then she came back with another win for the NH Investment and Securities Ladies Championship on the 12th of May. This will be her third event that she's won. Park Ji-young won on the 14th of April at the Mediheal Hankook Libo Championship. She's on to a second stroke for hole 18. And then let's not forget that Wang Yumin also won the Doosan ENC Weave Championship on the 7th of April. So we have all big winners in here. Kim Min-sun 7 and well, Sung Yoo-jin do have to win a tournament this year. Now here's Lee Dong-gyun. She was delightful to watch yesterday. She struggled much today, but she's more or less well stayed in that safe area. She missed out on the birdies, but wonderful effort there to get herself onto the green and back onto the rough. Well, thanks to that incline. Here's Wang Yumin. A second stroke for hole 18. Well, let's put it this way. If she can nail a birdie on this particular, well, hole, she might put herself in contention for finishing second best in the tournament. Would have liked to have got that onto the green, but she's, well, still in the rough. This is where it really pays to have a caddy for moments like this, isn't it? Your caddy is not just your friend, but he's also a bit of a mentor and a guide too. And this is, well, just showing you what happened. This was the stumbling block for Wang Yumin. Well, she got herself into the woods, and then it was the mulligan. I think, well, she had to drop 3 points there as she teed off for the third time. Landed up finishing with a triple bogey. She was the leader at this point of time at the 9th hole. She was on 11 under, while Lee Won and Sung Yoo-jin were in tied second on 10 under. And it's this very moment that changed the entire course of this tournament. Of course, on the 11th hole, she came back with some, stellar, well, moves. It was that wonderful tee off. And if only this had happened on hole number 9, it would have been such a change. So really having to go through those moments in this event. Then on the 13th hole again, she was delightful. She came back with another birdie. But since then, of course, it wasn't the easiest for her. And she had a fair share of challenges. Lee Won. I was about to say, well, just chewing on the fruits of her labor. Well, this is the time when all the golfers can actually relax. Huge amount of, well, pressure off your shoulders. With the event done, of course. That final exodus that we're looking at, and you're looking at the crowd. So there's fans, there's family, and there's friends. And not to forget, there are other coaches as well who do come in. It's a big event. It's practically a full house here today, and as we can look at the stands there, right at the the end of at the last hole, you pretty much know it's been a packed event. Yes, Park Ji-young. That was the third stroke for hole number 18. She's been a silent performer in the last couple of holes, nailed a few birdies. She's also a winner, having won that 14th April event, the Mediheal Hankook Leaderboard Championship, which was again a 1 billion won event. Well, the start of the year was the Hana Financial Group Singapore Women's Cup that was co-sanctioned with the Ladies Asian Tour. And then let's not forget that on the 16th of June we have the DB Group Korea Women's Open Golf Championship, which was co-sanctioned with the Ladies Asian Tour as well.
압력을 좀 넣어야지.
언니 이거 의외로 세요. 물총이 센데?
I, of course, will be back for the Lotte Open that happens on the 7th of July, which 7th of July, of course, is the final day, but it will start off on the 4th. So the 4th to the 7th of July, I'll be back with you for the Lotte Open. Really looking forward to that one too. But right now here on hole 18, it is the third stroke for Lee Dong-gyun. Would love to see her finish with a birdie today. Decent positioning and puts herself in contention of one. She's a very solid performer. Can't help but feel, well, a tad bit awful for her as well, because she really was the shining star of yesterday's event for round 2. Oh, that is a tremendous effort from Hwang Yoo-min, and this is how good she really is. Well, it's lovely to see her well perform. I said that she was the darling of the crowds here today, and she still is. Absolutely marvelous effort from her. And it is one golfer today who does deserve to finish well with a shining moment. It would be her. So Park Ju-young and Lee Dong-gyun just allowing her to finish, and she'll nail it with a birdie. Absolutely fine finish from Hwang Yoo-min. So she finishes with 11 under, 70 in the first round, 67 in the second, and 68 in the second round. Well, add those 3 points in there and she'd have been tied with Lee Won. But she will finish with 11 under. And we've got to find out, well, how the rest have finished. It looks like Hwang Yoo-min might be able to cap it off with second best, because we've got to figure out where Kim Min-sun 7 and Sung Yoo-jin are. Sung Yoo-jin was on 10 under. So Park Ju-young will aim for birdie on hole 18, and she'll be tied with... Oh, that's just a tad bit unfortunate. She would have been tied with Hwang Yoo-min. So Park Ju-young will finish on par with Sung Yoo-jin if she can finish with that even score here. Lee Won just waiting to finish. That's Park Min-ji chatting with her fellow golfers. Lee Dong-gyun.
플레이하겠습니다.
She'll aim for birdie on hole 18. I think she wants to take her time. She wants to finish it on a high point. And I think that's really, no matter what your struggles are, no matter what you've been through, the ups and downs, in the event of a round of golf or on the final day, you want to finish on a high. It's a tad bit of an incline there for her. She knows that. Slight curve. And that's exactly what. She needed to curve that a little bit more, but she'll have to settle for a neutral finish. And Lee Dong-gyun will finish her performance with 73 on the final round. 7 under. Remember, 66 was her best, and yesterday it was such a fine score. There is a bit of disappointment for her, but at the end of the day, she'll be back for the next tournament. But yesterday, I think she pretty much got a taste of what she can do when she's at her peak or when she's in the zone. Park Ju-young also looking to finish on par for her final, and this will be the final, tap of the day. She needs to keep this putt fairly simple, fairly straight. And that's the final moment of the suhyup-bank MBN Women's Open. 70, 67 and 69 respectively for her. And that's our winner, Lee Won, the suhyup-bank MBN Ladies Open 2024 champion. She's definitely going to have, the celebrations there. Cold water. Well, if you can't win the tournament, you at least get to douse the champion. And these girls, are all very good mates. And that was really cold. So there she is, the KLPGA 2024 winner of the suhyup-bank MBN Ladies Open 2024. It's the third win of the year, and I think very well deserved. Lee Won was the star of today. So let's add that, another feather in the cap after winning the Blue Canyon Ladies Championship on the 17th of March, and then of course winning the NH Investment and Securities Ladies Championship on the 12th of May. This is another feather in the cap. 2nd of June, the suhyup-bank MBN Ladies Open. Well, we'll have a few words from the champion. There'll be the prize presentation. Don't go anywhere, because we're still very much in the heart of this contest. Let's remind you that we were coming at you live from Gyeonggi-do, from the Star Hue Golf Resort. And my name is Glenn Mascarenas. I do hope you've enjoyed this event with us. Don't go anywhere as we continue. There's still the prize presentation left, and more importantly, that crowd. Absolutely love it. We're so looking forward to it. So there we have it. Lee Won finishes at the top of the heap, and Hwang Yumin will share the spoils with Kim Min-sun 7. They are tied second with 11 under. So Kim Min-sun really has been, she flew under the radar today, but she kept going very consistently. Park Ju-young and Sung Yoo-jin finishing in tied fourth with 10 under. Then Park Min-ji finishing in sixth with 8 under. That was followed by Yoon Soo-ah, Hyo Bin in tied seventh, along with the rest of the stars. But Park Ju-young also, let's not forget, put in such a performance to finish in tied fourth. Sung Yujin had the chance to win it. She was, tied with Lee Won till Lee Won decided to break away. And Lee Dong-gyun, what an opportunity missed. Was the leader yesterday, opened up a positive today, but just failed to, or rather could not replicate her performance of yesterday, which was at 66 points that she garnered. 7 under is what she finished with in this tournament. Then you've got Lee Ga-yong, Kim Boo-jeong, Park Gyeol, who was really at the top of her game yesterday too, also falling out of grace. Yoon Mina, who was also looking very strong yesterday, just had a few really bad holes to play in the second session, and that was her undoing yesterday. So today, finishing in tied 17 there along with Yunina. The red carpet, or should we call it the pink carpet?
감사합니다. 네. 네. 네, 우선 멋진 대회를 열어주신 매경 미디어 그룹과 SH 수협은행께 너무 감사드립니다. 이번 대회 때 샷감과 퍼팅감이 좋아서 저를 믿고 플레이를 하려고 많이 노력했는데 이렇게 좋은 결과로 마무리할 수 있어서 더 뿌듯한 것 같아요. 샷감이 후반 들어가면서 더 좋아졌어요. 그래서 우승을 생각하기보다는 계속해서 더 타수를 많이 줄여 나가려고 노력했던 것 같아요. 네. 네, 그 대회 첫 출전하면서 좀 많은 걸 배웠던 것 같아요. 플레이를 하는 거나 마음가짐이나 이런 게 좀 많이 배웠던 것 같은데 다녀와서 이렇게 플레이를 해보니까 더 많이 발전한 것 같아서 그 대회를 잘 참가한 것 같습니다. 네, 우선 제가 7월 달에 열리는 에비앙 챔피언십에 참가하게 되는데 첫 LPGA 도전이거든요. 그래서 그 대회에 나가서 좀 제 실력을 좀 확인해보고 싶습니다. 네. 네, 어제까지만 해도 36홀 동안 노복이다 이러면서 좋아하고 있었는데 오늘도 실수를 최대한 하지 않으려고 노력했는데 이렇게 노보기로 우승하게 돼서 더 뜻깊은 우승이 된 것 같아요. 네. 우선 비거리를 한 5야드에서 10야드 정도 더 늘리고 싶고요. 그리고 퍼팅은 항상 꾸준하게 해야 잘 되는 거기 때문에 에비앙 챔피언십 나가기 전까지 계속 더 꾸준하게 노력할 예정입니다. 네, 앞으로도 지금처럼 꾸준한 모습 많이 보여드릴 테니까 응원 많이 해주시고 올해는 제가 목표였던 다승왕을 하기 위해 많은 노력하겠습니다. 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
A few words there from the champion. She was in very good spirit yesterday and today. And a very quick look at the highlights on the 6th hole. There was Wang Yumin really shining. She opened up the day in a very, very good manner. She was really charmed the audience right through, with her placement. Her approach shots were fantastic. Here's Lee Won on the 8th hole. She was staying close to the top. She missed out on an eagle on a couple of occasions today. 2 actually, to be precise. There was a birdie for Sung Yoo-jin. She too was in stellar form in that first 9, about 5 or 6 birdies. She really shone bright today, and this was the undoing for Hwang Yu-min, where it was a mulligan and then the triple bogey to end off pretty much her contest run. But hats off to her, I think very admirable. She still pulled it back together to finish second best and to finish, tied second with Kim Min-sun 7. She's a very gutsy golfer, and I think she's been really, while Lee Won was the shining star of today, Hwang Yu-min is a story to write home about, even after that huge stumbling block, to get back up there and finish off, second best. I think that's really commendable. And that's when, well, Lee Won, who was in tied third, moved up to tied second. That was on the 9th hole, and then of course on that 14th hole she pretty much had arrested her position as the leader. She was right up there with 12 under already. She took it to 13 under on the 12th, and then on the 15th hole, I think that was really the championship moment, or when she had arrested the championship. She was 13 under at the time. And she had that fantastic well-approached shot. It was only about basically then finishing it off with a birdie. So it was 14 under on the 15th hole. And that's when Park Ju-young just kept creeping up slowly behind. She had, 4 birdies there in that back 9. And finally on the 18th hole, it was Kim Min-sun 7, who I think changed everything. She lipped out what could have been an eagle. She finished off with a birdie, and that's what got her second best. There was no pressure on her. She just played a natural game, and this was the championship moment. Not really the championship moment, but the final tap in for Lee Won. I think the championship moment was on hole 15. So she had 8 birdies in there, an 8 under score today to add to her existing score. So Lee Won, truly the champion of this event, her 3rd win of the year, and she'll maintain a number 1 ranking.
14번 홀에는 더 클래식 효성의 EQB 차량이 준비가 돼 있었습니다. 이번 대회에선 2라운드 7번 홀에서 홀인원이 나왔는데요. 리쥬란의 리즈리프, 그리고 다이아몬드 1캐럿을 파마리서치 임세호 부장님께서 시상해 주시겠습니다. 네, 박수로 맞아주시기 바랍니다. 자, 그럼 행운의 홀인원을 맞은 주인공을 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 김민선 세븐 프로를 큰 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다. 자, 김민선 프로는 최근
So remember, there's a tied position for that 11 under. Kim Min-sun 7 steps up. To receive the runners-up check. That, of course, I think will be shared. So the 2nd and 3rd prize money will be shared. Unexpected performance, but a delightful one from Kim Min-sun 7.
자, 그럼 오늘의 주인공 우승자를 시상하겠습니다. SH 수협은행 MBN 여자 오픈 영예의 주인공은 3라운드 토탈 14언더 202타를 기록한 이예원 프로입니다. 축하드립니다.
Well, looks like Hwang Yu-min has taken the 3rd position because Lee Won will take the 1st.
갤러리분들께서는 박수로 이예원 프로를 맞아주시기 바랍니다.
Well, that's our champion for the SH suhyup-bank Open MBN Women's Open, That's the SH suhyup-bank MBN Women's Open 2024. That is our champion, Lee Won.
자, 그럼 먼저 MBN 이동원 대표님께서 우승 트로피를 수여해 주시겠습니다.
And that's the trophy. Well deserved.
네, 여러분 박수 부탁드립니다.
She really earned it today. There's no doubt about it. And she's going from strength to strength. 3 tournament wins this year at the top of the KLPGA ranking.
네, 이어서 수협주간회 노동진 회장님께서 우승자 켓을 입혀 드리겠습니다.
That's the winner's coat.
자, 이혜원 프로는 지난해 상금과 배상
And it fits perfectly today.
우승을 거뒀는데요. 오늘 1승을 추가하게 됐습니다.
Well, the cap fits right. So does the coat. So does the trophy. And of course, the winner's check.
자, 이어서 MBN 이동원 대표님께서 꽃봉거리를 전달해 주시겠습니다. 자, 한번 다시 들어주시고요. 네, 이동원 선수는 지난해 동료 선수들이 투어에서 드라이버를 가장 잘 치는 선수, 아이언을 가장 잘 치는 선수 1위로 손꼽았다고 하죠.
Well, the garland as well for Lee Yvonne.
수협은행 강신숙 은행장님께서 1억 8천만 원의 우승수표에 직접 사인 후 전달하시겠습니다.
And that's the winner's check.
자, 여러분 박수 부탁드립니다.
That's being signed, and I think that's really authentic, isn't it? So there we have it, the winner's check.
자, 이제 마지막으로 KLPGA
So the winner's check was for 180 million won, which is 130,143 USD. And that earrings and the necklace set, I'm sure those are diamonds. Well, she's been the sparkling diamond of this tournament. Lee won.
자, 네, 축하드립니다. 이혜원 프로님을 그럼 가운데 앞으로 모셔서 우승 소감을 한번 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
And a few quick words from her as well. So that was the suhyup-bank MBN Women's Open being played out right here at the Star Hugh Golf Resort 2024. Thank you for sharing the action of this event with us. I'll be back with you for the Lotte Open, which will start off on the 4th of July. But for now, it's time for me, Glenn Mascarenas, to shut shop and ship out of here and say you have a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye for now.